Alright guys, how's it going? Long time no see. It's Stephen the Mad-Dok here. Just getting ready to start on my next project, which I'd been humming and hawing a little bit over whether I would go for another walker or if I would go for a flyer. And what I've ended up going with is the Storm Eagle. So we got a flyer. The main reason for going for that is I've always been interested in having a large flyer in the not so much in my army lists, but just for display. The Thunderhawk, obviously, sort of being the top tier for that, but a little bit pricey at the moment. So didn't really like the look of the Storm Raven model. Just seemed like it was a little too stunted, a little too squished. But was looking at the Forge World site and kind of liked the look of the Storm Eagle, as opposed to the Fire Raptor, which is sort of based on the same chassis. So anyway, I have procured a version of that mold, and I'm going to start opening some bags up and see what the build's going to be like. So stay tuned. Okay, so having never done one of these sort of unpackaging or unboxing things on camera before, I'm just going to go with it and see how it all turns out. It's kind of like Christmas. I haven't opened any of this stuff yet. So now this, I believe, is the canopy. It's the clear piece there. I know some people will keep it clear, others are happy to paint over it. Actually, looks fairly cloudy on that. I don't know if you can see how cloudy that is. So I'll probably see the final result as to whether I paint that opaque or not. As default, I usually like to paint up crews and things like that so that you can see them, but we'll see how we go. I like doing the interior details on models, even if you can't see them. Just one of those things. Alright, now this is the rear part of the fuselage, I believe. Not too much flashing there. Looks pretty good. Maybe just a little bit of warp going on. From what I understand, this is one of the models in which you're likely to have potential warping. I'm hoping that this one's not going to be too bad. It's a pretty solid piece of resin. One big block there. I think the only sort of real warping is going to be this piece here, but I'll see how that all goes together. Unfortunately, the box was not in fantastic condition from posting. It was pretty banged up. Everything seems to have arrived okay, but this is sort of why we do these. Double check that everything's sort of turned out alright. This is wrapped up fairly well. This is probably one of the side pieces, or both of these side pieces. Yeah. So I believe that parts of this are based off the existing Storm Raven model with a bit of retooling. So yeah, there's a bit of warpage going on there. Probably nothing that a hairdryer won't be able to fix. Might just be a little bit of natural flex in there as well. But this is one of the things that can be checked out as it goes together. So both of these pieces. So this is as I said, the side fuselage. Obviously, you have the hatchway there. And these pieces here, that's for the front thrusters. Looks like you got the mounts for the. I'm not sure if those if that's like flash or if that's part of the engine mount. I'll have to have a look at that as we get going. Just throw the packaging away. so far there's been no breakages or anything like that. Discard bits of plastic. It's been wrapped pretty well. Alright, so this looks like it is the cockpit. See the seating there for the Space Marine pilot, and this is the top turret. Now, from what I understand, the Storm Eagle has a hatch that goes over the top of that, but if there's parts of the Storm Raven also, you might be able to put some of the turret weapons on there. Because what I'm thinking is, instead of using it as a Storm Eagle per se in a game, I might just be able to proxy it as a Storm Raven and just adjust the weapons. I'll have to see what the loadouts look like. But really, I did not like the look of the Storm Raven. Just looked way too stunted. So this is the decking and the underside with the that cross piece there is for the flight stand. And again, I think this is a little warped. Nothing that a little bit of heat's not gonna fix. I'll obviously be doing some extensive dry fitting of this whole setup, so that I know exactly what's going to need to be adjusted. Okay, this looks like one of the front canards, which goes on the up near the cockpit. I'm not sure if that's a sensor on here, or if that's supposed to be a weapon mount. Looks like it could be either. Not sure if that's part of the wing or the fuselage. Nice bits of detailing in though, and it all looks very similar to other Space Marine vehicles, like specifically the Rhinos. You can see that there's sort of venting grip details there, and they're all very reminiscent of like the Land Raider and the Rhino. I believe that this is for the landing gear. Looks like it's the actuators for the landing gear. Again, not too sure what this piece is for, but it looks cool anyway, to my untrained eye. A little bit of flashing still, but nothing as horrendous as I sort of thought there might be. This is the top piece of the cockpit, which the canopy will sit on, and I guess that will sit down over there like that. The Imperial Aquila. So that's neat. That might be something that gets magnetized just to allow access. Alright, now we've got some doors that will go in the side entries, I'm guessing, and this is the back hatch. Looks pretty much the same as the Rhino hatches. Probably sharing the mold with that. I believe that this is like the track for the missiles. The missile launchers roll on those tracks and ahead. Now that's a very interesting sculpt. Doesn't look like it's like any of the marks of armor that I'm used to. So maybe it's kind of Tech Marine-y. It's an interesting sculpt, that's for sure. Let's get some more of this stuff out. Okay, so that's another mirror piece, the one I was looking at. Some venting. Venting there, it probably goes on the back. Well, I'm not sure. Might need a little bit of heating up there, just a little bit of warping on that. Some las cannons. Alright. They're just a little bit bent, but nothing that a little bit of heat won't fix. Now, from what I understand, a lot of people were getting the wrong ones, or two of the same, like I believe there's left and right. Looks like I'm missing the top piece. Looks like one of these railing bits here is broken off. You can see there's a little railing there and it's not present on here. Not too worried about that. It might be just floating around in the packaging, but easily replaced with just a little piece of plastic rod. Not too panicked about that. But yeah, looks like I've got the left and right. Looks like that's going to be okay there. Find out as we assemble. Another little bit of venting. These look like could be part of the engine covers, perhaps. Makes me think of the parts of the Dreadnought. So, I mean, you know, these pieces, they're all deriving from the same sort of inspiration, and kudos for being able to keep everything in line and looking similar. Just a shoulder pad with the Mechanicum symbol. Melter might be something that I can magnetize on the front. Another rail, and looks like a control panel. It might be for the cockpit. Landing gear with the boot to the face of the Imperial Aquila, and again possibly another engine mount on the wing. Feels like one of those the stockings that you open up at Christmas, just diving in and getting right to the bottom. I think that's just a bit of flashing. So we've got a couple of arms, which are very important for if you want to pilot the vehicle. Looks like there's one grabbing the throttle and one thrusting forward. And just a plain shoulder piece, and another smaller track mount, again I think for the missiles. Now I'll just double check in here. Doesn't feel like that other piece has come loose in there, so maybe that's just something that unfortunately didn't make it into the bag. Like I said, that's not a huge deal. It looks like it should be fairly easy to replicate just using a piece of plastic doweling. Well, not doweling, just plastic rod. So that's alright. Preferably that's the only issue. But we'll see. Okay. So this is obviously the wing section, and you'll have the room for the thrusters there. Like landing thrusters. Looks like this is the back fin, and again the mirror piece, which will go on the other side. And another door. This looks like it could be a cockpit door. Could be. We'll have to see once it's together a little bit. And looks like another assault ramp. That's interesting. I had thought that there was just one ramp. Maybe there's two. But you can see it's got all the grating and the details, and then the floor piece. So that'll be interesting to figure out where they all go. Again, just a little bit of warping. I think just hair dry will be alright for that. Alright, moving right along. Got these big, oh wow, big blocks of resin, and these are the engines. Oh, that's just a big solid chunk of resin. Yep. The engine blocks and the vents and thrusters and stuff will go onto those to finish building them out. But yeah, no, those are going to give it quite a bit of weight. I have to think about how I'm going to pin some of these. I have to use some metal pins. And again, two solid chunks here. These are the missile launchers. These go on the back. I'm thinking I've seen some other people put them underneath, like magnetize them, put them underneath the wings. I will have to see how that works. I kind of like the idea of having them underneath, but then you've sort of got an exposed top. But you know, it's all subject to what you can sort of kit bash. Alright, so here we've got bits and pieces here. Here's one of the engine vents, not engine vents, fans. The legs of the pilot, again with a little Mechanicum symbol on the knee. That's quite cool. That's a nice little bit of detailing. Let me get that in shot. Bit of detailing on there. I think that's cool. The other canard. I'm not sure how you'd pronounce that. Two of them anyway. More landing gear. Looks like a sensor, maybe a sensor mount. Looks like the melters would slot into these two bits on the side there. You can probably swap them out. These are some of the ventral thrusters, which will be able to rotate once you get them into the assembly. So that's quite cool. The chest plate, again with the Mechanicum symbol on the front. Pop that over there. And this is another piece of landing gear, the foot. And this looks like it's the back of the seat. See some of the detail in there. That's quite cool. I like those little dots and buttons and things. Paint those up. What else have we got? This looks like it is the hatch at the top I was talking about with the turret. Some more readouts. Looks like they are for inside. Similar to the Land Raider or the Land Speeder readouts. I think we've just got a few duplicate bits now. It's like the nozzles, the thrusters at the back. Nice solid piece. Little railings. Not sure what part of the assembly they're for, but we'll figure that out. And again, just another fan and thruster piece. Digging in the bag. This looks like it's another piece of landing gear. See the pistons and whatnot. The back of the pilot probably doesn't have a power plant on this when you put it in the chair, but we'll see how that plays out. And the other thruster there. We're just about at the end of the bag of goodies here. These look like they are heavy bolter nozzles. So it looks like you could have the heavy bolters or the melter on the front part there. So that's a good option. Another set of ventral thrusters. Now I believe that these parts go on the inside of the fuselage and they lock in the ventral thrusters, so you put those in, you have the thrusters and that it attaches to the interior so they can swivel around. So there's two of those. A couple of missile mounts by the looks of it. You have those peeking out. Probably have these or the las cannons as options. Ventral thruster. that's probably just about it for in terms of duplicate pieces. These are all going to be the same, just a bit of venting and detailing there. Probably sits on the outside somewhere. Block of something. Looks like a fairly solid piece. Maybe it goes to the. Looks like it might go to the engine piece. There's a light there. There's a little sort of interior light. There's two of those. Some more missiles, because you can never have enough. Another couple bits landing gear with the Imperial Aquila. This looks like it might be part of a tail, just a little bit of a fin. The other piece of melter, just standard melter, multi-melter, and just a couple more bits of paneling, control panels, venting, and I'm not quite sure, but it looks like there's, oops, this way, a bit of cabling and detailing on that. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe that is a flight stick? I don't know, I'm not sure. I will have to look into that closer. Right, so now that I've managed to make a mess of that, the next part is going to be to sort the bits and pieces out, work out what's going to go where. Maybe I'll start off by working on that replacement piece for the tubing, and yeah, we'll start off with the cleanup. I think I'm going to need to hunt around for a decent set of instructions. The Forge World ones are not fantastic by all accounts, so I am going to call that one there. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the build. It's going to be a different sort of build to the Night Titan. So we will get started on that shortly. Thanks very much.